What's good, YouTube? My name's Tony, and I'm doing something a little bit different today. We're going to be doing a full-length video, one of my first ones, but we're going to be talking about the Pokemon Center drop that's supposedly going on, how bots just cleared out Best Buy, it's getting crazy. We're going to be talking about Crypto Bros and this very interesting intersection I've been seeing between the pump of product and blaming Crypto Bros on X and what's actually going on. And I'm sure, as most of you guys who have been around for a while already know, items get pumped, they get manipulated in discords all the time. It happens to literally every item you can think of, from random cards to people just buying out old sets that are out of rotation. Now, before we get too much further, I want to bring you guys' attention to this item real quick. We're going to be talking about the Lucario Tyranitar Premium Collection that dropped at Sam's Club. I do think this was a limited drop, and I do think this will perform similarly to Blooming Waters and be essentially like a Blooming Waters for Prismatic. I do think they're at a pretty good price right now. I mean, obviously nobody likes to pay over MSRP, but if you have to factor in the Costco membership and all that other stuff, this really isn't too bad of a deal. But this is only for Prismatic fans. If you don't love Prismatic, just get 151 or use these products in order to get more of these. Like, I've even been able to straight up trade the Priz box for the 151, and I think that's something that everybody should be looking into right now, because despite Prismatic having all the hype, 151 will go out of rotation first, and it just has a larger core fan base. There are more people that love the original 151 than people that love Evolutions. Like, everybody loves Umbreon, sure, but you know what people love even more than Umbreon? The original 151. That's the entire reason why Pokemon Company even exists today, because they nailed the original 151. Now, I didn't know that this card was $85 when I went to it. I thought it was a little bit cheaper. But the point that I was going to make is that if you look at this chart for the Gold Star Umbreon, this is a card that people were crying market manipulation. Despite all of Celebrations pumping, they wanted to blame Crypto Bros. They wanted to blame everybody else when it jumped from $37 to $70. You know what I mean? A lot of people thought that that was market manipulation. Now, unfortunately, this isn't really how the Crypto Bros do things. And I can speak to this because as someone who has an economics degree, I went to school for econ, I've taken part in crypto. I know you guys hate that, and a lot of people get really upset when I talk about cryptocurrency. But there is a correlation / crossover between the two. However, it's just not what most people think. Most people think that their Crypto Bros are all rich and they're just coming to do pump and dumps over here. No, that is the 1% who are already doing it anyway. There's a 1% of rich Pokemon guys who are pumping dumping, 1% of rich crypto guys are pumping dumping, and they just did it together, and they did it well. But now, this last week, I've seen a giant uptick in crypto guys asking about Pokemon. And these are not the rich guys. These are the regular, everyday guys asking about different Pokemon stuff. How can I get involved? I've seen a bunch of different crypto rip and ship, not really rip and ship. They're more like they're slabs, packs, and you can like buy these packs. They're crazy expensive. No normal person would ever do this. We would just buy a fucking booster box or we'd buy something like that. But these guys who have money are spending it on these slabs and doing it like crazy. Let me just highlight this project real quick. It's called Fidgetals. This is not a shill. I don't have a promo. I never even touched the project. I just noticed that since this project took off, and there's a ticker I want to show you guys on Deck Screener as well that's unrelated to this. This is all relevant Pokemon news. I swear to God, stay with me. This ticker took off in crypto, and it went, look at this. This is from basically 2 days ago. September 2nd, it shot all the way up, 420 million market cap. And this is all about collecting Pokemon cards. Crypto Bros are finally coming around. You thought they were here before. They were not here. Look at this chart. Now look at the Umbreon chart. Do you see the difference? This is not crypto manipulation. This is Crypto Bro manipulation. And this is what is coming for our bags. And I think that this is super important for me to talk about, because a lot of people think, oh, the bull market's ending. The bubble is going to bust. The bubble is not going to bust anytime soon. When we have Best Buy selling out before I can even get the button to pop up. The site won't even load up. And then we have collections like these still undervalued. And the thing that's interesting and actionable for you today is that you can still take advantage of this, because Crypto Bros don't even know about this kind of stuff. They don't think about this kind of stuff because all they're thinking is, what can they manipulate? And anything that's still in rotation or still in print, they're not gonna try to manipulate or pump or whatever. And when I say manipulate, I just mean have an edge and try to make some money. But this isn't the kind of stuff that they're looking at. The stuff that they're looking at are all singles because they want to play the meme coin game. If you guys know anything about meme coins, it's basically a series of greater fools theory where it's who's going to be the last one holding the bag kind of thing. And that is what they're going to attempt to do in the singles market. So beware of that because it will be coming. However, I think the best way to protect yourself from these sort of people is to buy sealed. And now I like to also buy singles. I buy singles all the time. I don't care. If I like a card, I get a ton of them. Actually, and these cards don't have to be loved or sought after by anybody. I form a narrative on my own and I take action. And this is a kind of a little baby shill in my first video, but I also just want to show off some cards that I really like that aren't worth shit and nobody can manipulate. I picked up a bunch of Char Cadets. What actually started this entire video was I'm a fan of Char Cadet. I love Char Cadet. I have 4 of the ones that exist right now. Obviously, this is reverse hollow. This is regular. I got the this is my favorite one, and this is like the Japanese one. This one's freaking awesome too. But the point isn't about Char Cadet. The point is, a lot of people see on X, you see crypto guys enjoying Pokemon or commenting on stuff about Pokemon, and they're reached back at with a lot of negativity from the real or OG Pokemon community. But what you're not thinking is that there's no difference. If we're all the same age, it's the same market. Like I'm sure they were Pokemon fans before they were crypto fans. You know what I'm saying? Like before it became financial, everybody loved Pokemon, and that's what made the Pokemon company so overwhelmingly successful. And I just thought it was really interesting that there's been this disconnect because the two sides don't talk because they try to demonize one another. One side think they're smarter than the other side thinks that they're trying to scalp them and all this other stuff. And in reality, it's nothing like that. It's a bunch of people in the middle who are just trying to coexist and make something happen. You understand? This is what most things are. This is the same in politics. Politics do the same thing. Democrat, Republican, crypto bro, Pokemon OG, like it's the same thing. And you guys are really all just fighting over nothing, and we're all supposed to be pushing the community forward together. But that's a whole nother rant. Back to my initial point was just that, yeah, man, things are getting a lot different in this market than we expect. I know a lot of times, especially in 2021, what was going on was people we're all waiting to the 25th anniversary. And when it came there, it was kind of like a sell the news event. That's like a typical thing in all markets. I'm sorry if I use terms you don't like or aren't familiar with, but sell the news event is just saying like, oh, we're buying the rumor that this is coming, and when it comes, we're going to sell it and sell the news. You know what I mean? So moving on, and a lot of people are thinking that that same thing will happen around his 30th anniversary, and I'm kind of not seeing the same comparisons because now the market overall is just bigger. There's the people who were 15 back then are 20 now and they have money. You know what I mean? So like that's a substantial thing that matters. There's just a lot of differences. The other difference is back then we had Shining Fates, which was kind of hyped. And then we went into like Battle Styles, Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies, and Celebrations and all the other stuff. But the hype wasn't consistent. Like when Evolving Skies first came out, Evolving Skies was not the Evolving Skies we know today. I ripped one ETB of Evolving Skies. I'm like, I'm over this. I didn't get any other pulls. Fuck this set. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was kind of just the fatigue that was in the community at that point in time because we had just, well, at least me personally, I had bought a shit ton of Shining Face and I didn't get anything. And I know a lot of other people who are in the same and or similar situations or were in those situations. Even from an engagement level, I have noticed that now when I talk about Pokemon on Twitter, it's just getting more replies, more interactions, and it's been picking up the past like week or two. These people are just discovering the Pokemon market. Like I said, Digitals, this thing came out like, it says they joined August 2019. No, they didn't. They bought another account or some shit. Like, look, they paid all these influencers. This guy's paid. All these guys are paid. And this is all in the last 24 hours. And these guys are just like, oh, I turned $250 into $9,000. Like, come on, bro. If you think this is real or sustainable or something that we can, come on. These are the type of games that crypto guys like to play, where it's psychological and look, we pulled a 45,000. Like, come on, bro. If you're a logical person, like I know you are, you know that this is the crypto clickbait. And keep in mind, all of this is in the last 24 hours. Everything that I'm showing you guys in this video, Pudgy Penguins also launched a trading card game. This is crypto related, but that's not important. But like, this is just what has been going on in the last 24 hours on this account. The entirety, like even the Solana itself is like, oh, Pokemon cards, trading floor, blah, blah, blah. Like there's a mania going on right now that I think a lot of people are gonna miss out on because it's been a bull run for Pokemon for so long. But the bull run is relative, you know what I mean? And most people who have been here for, let's just say you got here last year and you've been reinvesting in Pokemon. Obviously, you're not a noob to Pokemon. You've liked Pokemon your whole life. You started buying cards last year. This is an insane bull market to you, right? Unfortunately, in crypto percentages, it's not. Like these guys, they slept on the entire Pokemon bull market. They didn't even know it existed until now because now it's reaching a level where it's like, damn, up 500%, like 200% wasn't enough, 300, 400, it wasn't enough until they got over 500. Now all of a sudden everybody's like, oh my God, like these guys are actually making money. Like, and there's a couple good people. I'm not here to even talk about different crypto accounts and profiles, but you guys see the trend that's going on. This is all in 24 hours. And there are, and this guy, Thread Guy, did a stream. He's like a big crypto streamer, but outside of crypto, nobody fucking cares. But he did a stream, which was a big deal with the founder of the guy who runs Fidgetals. And you know, when it comes to crypto, bro, it's always, I don't want to talk down on the industry that I care about, but these sites like Fidgetals and other ones have certain mechanics where like, oh, we sell you cards at under 5% market and then we'll buy them back for you at 80% of their value and blah, blah, blah. And then there's hidden fees and they make it seem like you can make a gazillion dollars and you can't. It's the lottery on steroids. And Pokemon fans already know what it's like to play the lottery. We rip packs all the time, except we're not playing with thousands of dollars. And the guys who are playing with thousands of dollars are just coming into the industry. I see many I became a Pokemon maxi. For those who want to start, I can recommend Fidgetals, blah, 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 blah. Like, this is the entire timeline today. And I think that it was so important for me to get this information out to you guys because this is not normal. And this is exactly what you guys had been saying was happening forever. Like, I've been talking to people on Twitter, and they're like, oh, he has an NFT profile picture. He's a crypto pump and dumper, blah, blah. And this was, like, in May. And they thought I was some crypto pump and dumper because I had an NFT profile picture that I got for free. You know what I mean? Like, that's what everyone was so upset about and what they thought was pushing the market. And they really, truly believed that it wasn't just organic Pokemon fans. Turns out, shocking, I know, but Pokemon is one of the most successful, popular, loved, sought-after franchises of all time. And that is in the TCG, the video games, and in the anime. And that's enough, really, to lead to the sort of bull market action we saw up until, I don't know, yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, there was a lot of people who were moving and they were assuming that other people were manipulating the market because they were being left behind. And I think that a lot of times we project our feelings onto the market. And when we can't find anybody to blame, it's so easy to be like, all these guys got rich in crypto. How many people do you really actually think got rich in crypto? If you bought BTC at the bottom of the last bear market when it was like 19K up to now to 100K, you're still not rich. Even if you bought a whole Bitcoin and it went from $19,000 to $110,000, you are not rich if you're an adult in America. And I know that sounds crazy and a little out of context to say if you're viewing this over across the seas or internationally, but America is just different, bro. It's a capitalistic society. It's not, I don't want to say it's not a good place, but people with more money spend a lot of time trying to fuck people with less money. And there's only so many ways we can justify what's going on in the market before people have to blame somebody. You know what I mean? And that's unfortunate. And I hate that psychological part of being a human being, but it's real.